Well, Happy New Year, everyone. I'm at the end of my check for the day, but this might be the start of the video. I want to just take the opportunity to thank all the supporters, especially all you trappers out there that have been watching the channel. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I just hauled some more bait into a wolf site. Anyways, there's lots of channels out there, the trapping channels that support each other. So on this video, if you watch this video, plug your channel. Put it in the comments. Let us know who you are, where you're from, what you're trapping. There's so many channels I keep coming across, and they're under 1,000 subscribers, which you have to hit 1,000 to get monetized. So it'd be so nice to get those channels bumped up and get the numbers growing. And best thing we can do for each other is put out more content and support each other and let everyone know that this is a normal lifestyle for a lot of us, and there's nothing wrong with it. So thanks again to everyone, and I'll spend some time and make a little better video to get everyone to share their channels. Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year, everyone. It's December 31st today. I mean, you would think it was a beautiful spring day with all the snow, meaning there isn't any. We're gonna do a check of the short line today. We're just gonna go in through, check out my snares, set up a few more snares. Temperatures, again, like plus 2 or 3 Celsius. Sorry for all you Americans. I'm not sure what that is. But it's going to get cold, which is good because like minus 10 or something in the next week or two. So I'm actually going to try and get some more snares out for that reason. But finding some skulls in here. Went by one snare site, or snare. It's empty. I normally have a snare right through here. And another one in here, which I've caught a couple right here. You can actually see some of the markings on the tree where the snare went around. So I'm probably just going to set one up here right now. And then I usually have another one right about where Pacer's, right there. That's a good trail. My very first wolf ever was right here on this tree. I'm going to have to just put something across here to hang this off of. Just gonna do my typical free hanging snare. So I need to get a branch. It's best to not be breaking stuff right around where you're snaring. Again, any sort of new fresh scent of trees or whatever you want to avoid if possible. Oh, that's it. Kind of that simple. Again, I normally have one right in here, which I got a double here last year of coyotes. One here and one where I just set up. So let's maybe try that. Let's get one more set up here. This one, oh, here we go. Here's my old snare wire. Right there. So we got one in here, so I just cut that out. So I'll take this out now. It worked last time, so I guess we just do the same thing. Although I don't really want any coyotes. I'm going to try and set these a bit higher for wolves. And the reason I don't want coyotes, I just sold some fur yesterday to the fur buyer, and they're not buying coyotes right now. There's no market for it. So any coyotes I do get, I'll just be donating to students, or what I'd really like to do is find an artist that makes stuff out of the fur where I can just do some trading. Trade some fur for some mitts or a hat or something like that. So if any of you out there watching work out some kind of deal, it would have to be somewhere relatively close here. That's probably what I'll do with the coyotes. Tan them up and either give them away as gifts or have someone make stuff out of them. So we'll try and target more of the wolves here, which means just a little higher set. This one I actually just had hanging right off of this stuff in here. Okay, that's pretty good. That's definitely wolf height. That's good. Good wolf height for sure. Grab my snare and we'll we'll start checking up here. Okay, so I had a snare right off of this tree. Oh yeah, it's still there. It's just camouflaged really well. So it's right there. Okay, well, that's good. It's another good trail. I've got a snare farther down there, but it looks like the tree that it was on has been knocked over, so we'll go reset that up. Some more digging here. That's where my snare is. Knocked down. Not having any luck keeping this tree up, but we'll get it fixed up. Okay, there we go. That one looks good. Off to our next ones. Oh, there's a coyote skull. That's cool. So I actually had a coyote last year in this area that the birds got to. So I just left the snare out. Just kept it tied up for bait. Birds and critters keep picking at it, and that's what's left. So we can now use that skull. But I'll probably leave it out here for now and show some kids when they come out, and then we'll take it back. Okay, I just quickly set one up, another one up there. It's right where the skull is. It's a pretty good spot. Yeah, you could go forever in here and just set snares all over the place. It's such a good area. More bones from previous bait. Snare there. It's kind of wimpy. Pretty narrow. But I'm not going to mess around with it. We'll leave that. And our last two snares in here. There's one right through there. It's another good spot. And some digging here, but that's older. The snare. It's really low. Right here. I will readjust, and then that's it for this little area. Yeah, this is where we got our one and only coyote for the year. And I've got a good snare right in there. Which I've got a few times. Another snare right here. This is where I got two coyotes here. A few days apart from each other. And both got eaten by birds. I've got one in there, just underneath that log, and one more snare right here. So nothing been going on in here, but I haven't had any bait up in here for a while now. Sort of been leaving things just because it's been so warm, but got some cold temps coming, so start to get a little more active here again. Get some bait out, more bait out anyways. Still just the end of Christmas break here. We'll have kids back out next week. So I'm just trying to get everything kind of set up again today to have kids coming out in the next 3 or 4 days. So we've got some stuff to check and hopefully some critters in it. We might get a few critters today, you never know. We'll find out. Checking marten box, which I will be certain will be empty of bait. Probably a squirrel in it. And this lynx cubby, which I thought would produce something by now. It hasn't. And still hasn't. Still set. I mean, still an okay amount of bait in there. And surprisingly, this is still set. But I bet you there's no bait. Might be what's left of a flying squirrel, but there's another squirrel right over there, which we're probably going to get. We'll set it and then move on. Okay, we're just walking into our camp where we bring the students. Sometimes full classes, sometimes smaller groups, but usually in the spring, in the fall, kind of during beaver trapping season, but we do have a few traps here that we always show them. And it looks like there's some remains of a flying squirrel in there, but we'll throw some more bait in there and check. We got a beaver trap, might have an otter in there, and a lynx cubby. Just some of our stuff from camp. So far we've been lucky, we've left all this out here. Nobody's taken it. There's our fire pit. We built a smoker here, made a video of that. If we use it again, obviously we got to redo everything here as far as otherwise that's going up in flames in no time. It worked pretty good. Little hanging post, another video there where Rachel was skinning out an otter. And then we got our lynx cubby over here. Well, it's not set off. There's probably not much for bait in here. There's some bones in there, but it's been picked over pretty good. I'll throw a bit more stuff in there. So every time I come out here, I keep thinking I'm going to have to pull this trap. This is going to be frozen. Definitely getting a lot more water through here because of all the melt. Not sure what's going on with that trap. I think it's still set. It was a nice little channel through there, but all this melt, we're just getting so much more water coming through now, so I'm pretty sure that's set. Just covered in grass, so if it isn't, I'll just leave it. Something can still get through. Yeah, I can still see the spring, so well, doesn't get any more camouflage than that. I mean, that's a good channel, so anything swimming is still going to go through that more likely than over there. So we'll leave it for now until things do get a little bit colder and freeze up, but there's always so much current here. This is going to take a little bit of time. Okay, so I am going to be part of a fisher study. We're not allowed to keep fisher in this area. I've got a ton of fisher on this trap line. I also worked with an ecologist, and we went over the areas of what would be prime fisher habitat, and I don't really have any prime fisher habitat according to what they told me. But I've got fisher all over the place in areas that you would not expect to have fishers. And when I say I've got them, I've got game cams set up. There's some videos on my channel of fisher. There's one with the fisher looking in the mirror, which I'm going to set up a box there. I've got another fisher that went after the skunk head. That's another 5-6 kilometers away. Where I'm located right now. Oh, actually, here we go. Didn't realize this. We've got some bones. But on the other side of the road, I had a wolf bait station. I don't have it set up right now. I'm going to eventually. And I had a game cam there, and I had a fisher on that game cam. A kilometer down the road from here, we actually saw a fisher in the spring running on the road. Again, in areas that you would not expect to find fisher. So I'm going to set up a box here, a fisher exclusion box with a game cam. And hopefully we can get some footage of a fisher coming in. So we'll just get that set up right now. We got some claw marks on this tree. Most likely a bear. Could be a lynx. And so here's our brand new fisher exclusion boxes. The BC Trappers Association gave me 10 to set up with some game cams. So we'll we'll get this all ready to go. I should have had screws, but I didn't, so we're going to try and nail this one up. Now it's hard to get this top one in. It would be much easier if I had a drill, which I do, but I don't have, forgot my screws at home. So we'll see if I can get a nail in here, but it might be too difficult. Nicer to go higher, but then I can't get to the nail to hammer it, so it is what it is. This will help if I did it straight. That's just getting picky. Bit of a Mickey Mouse show here. It's pretty sturdy. The trap's not set yet, it's just sitting in the box there, but it should be good enough that we can get the top off and on, high enough off the ground. The one advantage, and I keep forgetting that it's not that big of a deal, I guess, if these are a little bit lower, because that trap's never going to pop out of the box with a top on it. Because normally you'd have it set up so that your trap pops out. It's hanging far enough off the ground, but this trap's always going to be in the box no matter what, so. This is why these are kind of a pain. Actually, we don't have to use these yet. So this is obviously just for the study. Hopefully we get the fisher back off the blue list in our area. But this is just a pain to have to do this every single time. Okay, now we got to get a game cam set up. Well, they didn't give me any straps for these. I'm just going to use some wire. Probably not the smartest to put it on a dead tree, but it's actually really secure. I think that looks good. In my last video, I called this the magic weasel box. All we seem to get is weasel after weasel after weasel in here. Probably some squirrels as well. Yeah, so nothing. Things have gone quiet. Well, that's probably a first in a long time where there's not been anything in here. Oh. Did you catch that? That's what's eating the bait. Voles. Well, they're getting up in there, so tighten this up a bit. That's all right. Feeding the critters. Marten box. What's going on here? Set off. I don't see anything hanging out of it. So it's either squirrel or empty. Oh, we got a weasel. Okay. Well, that's good. Not completely skunked. Still lots of bait in there. Huh. Well, that's good. Got an old box here. Squirrels do to boxes. They just destroy it. All right, well, before I take that weasel out, I've got a lynx cubby down here. I just can't get over. There's like no snow. So you wonder if we have any squirrels in the area, which is, I'm surprised that we got a weasel in there, not a squirrel, but I guess that's lots of food for the weasels. They like to eat those squirrels. I just ended up putting a milk crate down here, which is looking empty. Oh no. Oh, dang. All right, well, hard to see. This is pretty covered up, but that's looking like we got ourselves a marten in there. Yeah, well, we got a marten in 280. Okay, they look like there's some loose fur. Doesn't look too bad. I just thought maybe something was chewing on it. But pretty orangey. Not the best color. But we will take it because I just sold some marten yesterday and some lynx. Actually from last year. Been holding on to, and it was a good thing because prices went up about 20%. So they're anywhere from like 45 to 60 plus. So I got, I didn't sell very many, but that's Canadian. So yeah, last year was like 25 to 45. That one's probably giving, that's a small one, and the coloring is not great, but we'll take it. A little bit of hair coming out. Hopefully it's not too bad. Okay, let's get this 280 reset. It's good. Weasel in one box, which prevents a marten from going in, so it's nice to get one in here. This is what not to do when setting a trap. Especially by yourself. Okay. So now we'll just get some greenery and just kind of camouflage it a bit. So okay, that's I don't know if we'll get a lynx. I guess a lynx might go up in there, but I would definitely want to keep the birds out, and might get a, there's definitely wolverine around here, so it'd be nice to get one up in there. I got a marten box, a little stump set here, and I don't see the trap. Well, I do see the trap now. It's hanging with pretty wet looking ermine. Not chewed. Okay, well, that's 2 for the day. We have a bait station around here, but the tracks in this area is crazy. I mean, there's lots of birds in here, but wolf, coyote, this cubby over here always gets set off. Oh, there's a squirrel. So they're trying to get it out. They can't. There's the front of it. So they won't go through the front. Well, maybe they are small, but you can see there's been birds there as well. This is the majority of where they're coming through. So I'm chewing away. I'm gonna block this up better. Well, these wolf tracks look huge, but they're melted out. But there's some big wolves that have come through here. That's a big wolf. And for them to sink down that much, even when it's warm out, it's a good size wolf. Lots of coyotes in here too. Okay, if you remember, Rachel dragging that sled in here with some bait, and then Colby and Max, they each built the lynx cubbies. wolverine sets. I've checked it once since then and there was nothing. It's been about a week since I last checked. Kind of excited to see if there's been any activity in here. Yeah, so here's the back of the stump of Colby set. Max is set. And it's still set. Still looks good. I think there's still bait in there. We threw an otter in there, I believe. That one was an otter and this one was a beaver. Nothing. Wow, and there's still a full beaver in there. Wow. That surprises me actually. That nothing's even chewing on that. I've got a wolf bait station a few hundred meters away from here. I don't know if there's just so much, and it's got lots of food. Lots of bait in there, or did. Wonder if that's keeping things over there, which doesn't really make sense that things aren't going to pass through here and check that out, but they're not, like, not even little critters. Usually a carcass like that's going to be chewed on. Something's going to set it off. You've got squirrels that are eating the meat, weasels, but nothing. And there's squirrels around here. We've got 3 snares, a cubby, marten box. Fuck. What have we got going on here? Oh damn. Let's take a walk. This snare has connected on a few occasions over the years, and we are connected again, and it's small. Birds have been birds have been at it, so they've been pecking at it, pooping on it. I don't know. We'll see what we can do to salvage this. Well, unfortunately, after moving this wolf around, its tail's not bushy. I thought it was birds pecking at it, but it's got mange. You can just tell by the tail's a dead giveaway. That should be really bushy up by its butt, and the guard hair is really short. I mean, it was nice coloring. It's a young female. We'll get it out of there. Yeah, I don't think I can really salvage much of the hide. It's not really worth it. That's what happens. They get sick, get diseased. We'll still use the skull. Use what we can from it. Starting to lose a little bit of daylight here. So I want to get into my wolf snares. Check them out while I can still see. There are tracks just everywhere here. Again, a lot of this is bird. And that's not. So they'll bring the bait out onto the road. This is all wolf, coyote, mixed with some bird. It's everywhere. I left a couple bins. They were frozen at the time and full of bait. So I just left them in the bucket and pretty much cleaned out. That one just slipped down. That's really low. That's coyote height. Still pretty low, but like that. Try and walk my normal route. Kind of keeps my scent to a certain area, but I can still see the snares. Even if you can't see the snares directly, you'll know if something's in it. But there's a snare right over there. Oh, and that one is down. Okay, I'll get this one up as well. Yeah, this one's also on a wire. So there we go. That's a pretty small loop. Should have a snare right here, which we do. That looks good. Another snare there. That looks good. And with this crusty snow, it's really hard to tell what came in and when. I don't really see, I mean, there's some of my old footprints here. That could be a marten. I know there's a marten in here because I always see it on my game cam eating all the wolf bait. There's one in there. You see one right here, which is now really low, or sorry, really high. There's no snow, and then there's one back there. So located all three. Okay, well, that was disappointing. I thought there would be a chance of something in here. I do have two more right over here, but I'm actually not crazy about where I've got them set. One there and one there. They're pretty good trails, but probably not the best trails compared to what's in here. It's all part of the game, the challenge is trying to figure out, and so much of this is just plain luck. I mean, you gotta have a little bit of knowledge and some skill setting wolf traps, but man, they're just tough to get. So when you do get one, it's very rewarding, especially when you don't have, like I've got what, 9 snares, 10 snares in this area. It's a massive area. You could go a number of different routes to get to the bait. Yeah, so that black wolf only got 3 snares in the area. So when you do connect, and same with the first black wolf I got, it was in a spot where I only have 1 snare. So you know that's just sheer luck. You know, they're both decent trails. They could go anywhere. Come. I think that's sometimes setting up snares too close to your bait. One, they're more cautious. Two, they probably got their nose down. It's hard. It's really hard to tell. I don't have a lot of footage or game cam stuff with wolves around snare sites to actually kind of figure out. I mean, I have some, but not enough to figure out what's going on, like what they're doing, where they're going. You just gotta look at tracks, find trails, set snares, and get lucky.